Imagine this. You're sitting here, listening, breathing, your heart beating steadily inside your chest. You feel alive, completely in control. But what if I told you that just 60 seconds from now, everything could change? 1 minute, that's all it takes. One final heartbeat, one last breath, and in the blink of an eye, you step out of this life and into something far greater, far more real than anything you've ever known. Now here's the question. What happens in that very first moment? People fear death because it feels like an ending, a black void, a terrifying unknown. But the truth is, the instant you close your eyes on this side of eternity, you open them on the other. And let me tell you, you wake up to nothingness. You wake up to the most defining moment of your entire existence. In that first second, there's no more pretending, no more distractions, no more noise from the world around you. Every earthly thing, your money, your success, your reputation, fades into the background like a distant dream. You stand fully aware, fully awake, and for the first time in your life, you see everything clearly. Some people have come back from near-death experiences saying that the moment they left their bodies, they could still see everything happening around them. They could hear doctors trying to revive them, loved ones crying out their names. But then, suddenly the room starts fading and something else, something much bigger, takes over. What is it? A presence, a pulling, a calling, a moment where time itself seems to stand still. And in that instant, you realize you're not alone. Let me ask you something. If you died tonight, are you sure of what you would see? Would you be stepping into peace or into fear? Because make no mistake about it, you will step into something. Some say that nothing happens, that death is just the end, but deep down we all know better. We've all felt that small, undeniable whisper inside us telling us that there is more beyond this world, more beyond what we can see, more waiting for us when this life is over. And in that first minute after you die, that more becomes reality. 1 minute after you die, you will know without a doubt that eternity is real. You will know that God is real. And in that moment, there will be no arguing, no debating, no second chances to change your mind. You won't be able to turn back the clock, to undo the choices you made, to live differently. No, what's done is done. And what comes next is something you have already chosen by the way you lived your life here. 60 seconds. That's all it takes. So let me ask you again, if this were your last minute, would you be ready for what happens next? You've spent your whole life inside this body, seeing with your eyes, hearing with your ears, touching, feeling, moving. But have you ever stopped to wonder what happens when the body stops? Does everything just shut down like a light switch? Or is there something more? 1 minute after you die, you will know the answer. At first, it may feel like a dream. You're aware, more aware than you've ever been before. You can still think, still feel, but something is different. You're no longer bound by the limits of flesh and bone. You look down and see your body lying there, lifeless, yet you are still very much alive. People around you may be crying, calling your name, but they don't hear you. You try to reach out to tell them, I'm still here, but they can't see you. And in that moment, the terrifying reality sets in. You've stepped beyond the veil of this world into the next. But then something else happens. You begin to sense a presence, something powerful, something beyond words. It's not a distant, vague force. It's personal. It's real. And in that moment, you know you are no longer in control. Suddenly, memories start to flood your mind, not just the big moments, but every moment, every thought, every choice, every word you ever spoke. It's as if your entire life is being played before you, but not as a blurry memory. You are reliving it, feeling the weight of everything. Every act of kindness, every missed opportunity, every time you turned away from the truth, you see it all. And there is no hiding from it. Some have described this moment as overwhelming light, a warmth beyond anything they've ever known, a love so deep, so pure, that it brings them to their knees. Others have described something far different, a sudden dread, a realization that they spent their entire lives running from the truth, and now they are face to face with it. This is the moment the distractions of life no longer matter. Your job, your house, your social status, none of it holds any weight here. The only thing that matters is where you stand in this moment. If you spent your life seeking truth, longing for God, trusting in Him, then this moment will be the most beautiful homecoming you could ever imagine. But if you spent your life pushing Him away, convincing yourself that there would always be more time, then this moment will be the one you wish you could take back. You see, the most dangerous lie the world tells us is that we have time, that we can put off thinking about eternity, that we can live however we want and deal with the consequences later. But when that minute comes, when you step beyond this life, there is no later. So let me ask you, if this were your moment right now, what would you see? Peace or regret? Hope or fear? Because 1 minute after you die, you will know. 1 minute after you die, you will find yourself standing in a moment unlike anything you've ever experienced. There will be no more guessing, no more wondering, no more doubts. In that instant, you will know without a shadow of a doubt that God is real. The world we live in today tries to push God aside. People say, I'll worry about that later, or I don't believe in all that. But 1 minute after death, all those arguments, all those distractions, all those excuses disappear. You won't be able to deny it anymore. You will stand before the one who created you, the one who gave you life. And in that moment, everything you ever did, every thought you ever had will be brought into the light. Imagine standing in the presence of perfect holiness, a presence so powerful, so overwhelming that you feel completely exposed. There will be no justifications, no smooth talking your way out of it. You won't be able to say, well, I was a pretty good person, or I meant to do better, because in that moment, your life will speak for itself. The Bible tells us that one day, every single one of us will stand before God and give an account of our lives. That means everything. Not just the things people saw, but the things they didn't see. The hidden thoughts, the private choices, the moments of kindness, the moments of selfishness, all of it. For some, this moment will be a homecoming, a moment of indescribable peace and joy as they hear the words, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." They will enter into a place beyond imagination, where there is no more pain, no more sorrow, no more suffering, only endless love, endless joy, and the presence of God Himself. But for others, this moment will be the most terrifying moment of their existence. They will realize too late that they spent their entire lives running from God, ignoring His voice, rejecting His love. And in that moment, there will be no more chances. Some people think of judgment as a cruel thing, as if God takes pleasure in punishing people. But judgment is not about cruelty, it's about truth. It's about facing the reality of the choices we made. God has been calling out to you your entire life, giving you opportunities, reaching out to you in ways you may not have even noticed. But the truth is, there comes a moment when time runs out. 1 minute after you die, you will stand before God, and the question is not if you will face Him, the question is how you will face Him. Will it be with joy, or will it be with regret? Will you hear, "Welcome home," or will you hear, "Depart from me"? You have the chance right now, while you still have breath in your lungs, to decide what that moment will be like, because when that moment comes, there will be no turning back. 1 minute after you die, the veil of this world is torn away, and for the first time, you see everything as it truly is. The temporary things that once consumed your thoughts, your job, your money, your reputation, fade into insignificance. In that moment, only one thing will matter: where you will spend eternity. Some will find themselves surrounded by a peace beyond human understanding, a warmth, a presence so full of love and joy that it feels like they have finally come home. Imagine stepping into a place where there is no pain, no fear, no sadness, only endless light, endless beauty, and the overwhelming embrace of God Himself. Every tear wiped away, every sorrow forgotten, every longing finally fulfilled, the very air filled with life itself. But others will experience something far different: a chilling realization, an overwhelming sense of regret, a darkness that isn't just around them, but inside them, a separation from everything good, everything pure, everything they once took for granted. They will look around, searching for an escape, searching for another chance, but there is no turning back. People don't like to talk about hell. They think it's just a metaphor, a myth, an outdated idea meant to scare people. But Jesus spoke more about hell than He did about heaven. He warned about a place of deep regret, a place where the presence of God is absent, a place where people cry out for relief, but find none. Not because God is cruel, but because they spent their entire lives choosing to live without Him. Some may say, how could a loving God send anyone to such a place? But God doesn't send anyone there. We choose it. Every day, by the way we live, by the way we respond to His voice, by the way we either accept or reject His love, He has been calling out to us from the very beginning, offering us a way home, a way to be with Him forever. But He will not force Himself upon us. There is no middle ground, no neutral place where you can wait and decide later. 1 minute after you die, your eternity is sealed. The door to heaven will either open wide or it will remain closed forever. And what determines that? It's not how good you were, not how many good deeds you did, not how religious you appeared to be. It all comes down to one thing. Did you accept the gift of salvation? Did you surrender your life to Jesus? This is not something to take lightly, not something to put off for another day, because none of us know when that final minute will come. None of us know when we will take our last breath. And when that moment arrives, there will be no bargaining, no pleading, no second chances. Right now, while you still have time, you must decide. Because 1 minute after you die, your choice will be made for eternity. 1 minute after you die, the weight of eternity will settle on you like never before. Every moment of your life will be seen in perfect clarity, and for the first time, you will fully understand what truly mattered. All the things that once consumed your attention, the worries, the ambitions, the temporary pleasures, will seem like a passing shadow compared to the reality before you. Some will stand in awe, their hearts overflowing with joy as they step into a glory beyond imagination. But others will feel a sinking realization, a moment of inescapable regret. Not because they weren't warned, not because they didn't have chances, but because they ignored them. Because time was given, but it was wasted. Because truth was offered, but it was rejected. How many times have people sat in a church, heard the message, and walked away unchanged? How many times have they felt that pull in their hearts, that whisper of God calling them, yet they ignored it, thinking they had all the time in the world? But now, time has run out. Think about all the moments in life when people say, I'll get right with God later. I'll think about eternity another day. They push it aside, distract themselves with entertainment, drown out the questions with the noise of life. But 1 minute after they die, the distractions are gone. The excuses are gone. And all that remains is the truth. Picture someone standing at the edge of eternity, realizing too late that they never took that step of faith. They had opportunities, moments when God reached out to them, moments when they could have chosen Him, but they let those moments slip away. And now they would give anything to go back, to have one more chance, one more breath, one more opportunity to say yes to Jesus. But that chance is gone. It is one of the most sobering realities of life. There comes a point when it is too late. And it's not because God didn't love them. It's not because He didn't want them. It's because they made their choice. And that choice became their eternity. Right now, in this moment, you still have time. Right now, you still have a choice. But one day, whether it's years from now or in the next breath, that choice will be final. So I ask you, if this were your last minute, would you have peace or would you have regret? Would you stand with joy before your Creator, or would you look back and wish you had one more chance? Because when that moment comes, there will be no more chances. There will only be the reality of the decision you made while you were still alive. And that decision will last forever. 1 minute after you die, the truth will no longer be a mystery. Every question you ever had about life after death will be answered in an instant. And in that moment, you will realize that eternity is not an idea, not a distant thought. It is real, and it is forever. Some will enter into a joy so deep, so overwhelming, that it defies human understanding. They will step into the presence of God, surrounded by love beyond anything they ever imagined. But others will find themselves grasping for a second chance that will never come. They will realize in that moment that everything they lived for, everything they built their lives upon, was temporary. And now it's gone. It is a terrifying thing to stand before eternity unprepared, to wake up on the other side and realize that the time for choosing has passed, that the decisions made in this life determined everything. Some will remember the sermons they heard, the invitations they ignored, the moments when God called them and they turned away. And now they will understand with crystal clarity that eternity does not negotiate. It does not offer extensions. It simply reveals the final result of the life you lived. Many people today live as though this life is all there is. They chase after success, after pleasure, after the things of this world, as if they will last forever. But 1 minute after they die, they will see the truth, that only one thing ever truly mattered: their relationship with God. Not their wealth, not their status, not their accomplishments. Just one thing: whether they chose to follow Him. Some people think they can wait. They say, I'll get serious about God later. I'll turn to Him when I'm older. But they fail to see the greatest deception of all, the lie that there will always be more time. Because for so many, time runs out when they least expect it. 1 minute after you die, there will be no more distractions, no more second chances. You will not be able to buy your way into heaven. You will not be able to argue your case. The decision will have already been made. And so I ask you, right now as you listen, are you ready for that moment? If your heart stopped beating tonight, if your name was called into eternity, would you enter with peace or would you enter with fear? This is not something to take lightly. This is not something to put off, because once that minute comes, there is no going back. There is only forever. And where you spend forever is being decided right now in this life with the choices you make today.